I'm here to talk about the recent popularity of people making videos on YouTube about how our dicks are getting smaller. Not mine, not yours, but ours as a species. Our dicks are getting smaller. They're talking about how, okay, listen to this bullshit. I told you guys. I'm going to pull Jerry Ward here. I told you. You know how Jerry's always, everything comes down to play. If it's something he had pointed out earlier, it's like, I told you about this. I was right. You know, even if it's some Captain Obvious shit sometimes, like, yeah, everybody knew you were right because it wasn't news. But this is news. Apparently. I didn't think it was news, but people don't pay attention to shit that I say. You know, I don't have that wide of an audience, so it's part of the reason. But I've been telling you guys for a few years now, sperm count is down. At the study that I referenced, the statistics that I referenced, and I gave sightings and all that shit. If you really give a rat's ass, search within the channel here and you'll find it. If you don't, just watch this video and you'll be on board. You'll be up to date and current anyway. Sperm count was down at that time, and that was like the most recent thing that I could find that was really substantiated with other research. Sperm count was down 41% in 4 decades. And what I told you guys that they didn't say this, but we all know testosterone levels are down. We all know that. But what I told you was, as goes sperm count, so goes testosterone, or vice versa. That is a manifestation of low testosterone. So if sperm count was down 41% in 4 decades, which is ridiculous. I'm surprised people aren't like, what? People are concerned about a flu. I can't believe that they don't care about this shit. This shit's going to take us... Anyway, sperm count down 41% in 4 decades at that time. And that was like back in the 90s or late 90s or whatever it was, I think. You pretty much could extrapolate that, figures down more now. But like I said, I was pretty certain at the time testosterone and sperm count kind of run parallel to each other. So if one's down, the other's down. And unless you got some kind of specific illness or whatever, I'm talking about overall, in the organism in general, human race, men. And it is. So now the new meta study that came out says it's down something like a lot more than 41%. I saw a figure somewhere where 62%, 61%. I've seen different numbers. That's a lot over the past 50 years. Testosterone, they're saying, is dropping 1% every year. 1% every year. Doesn't sound like much. But again, small steps to the moon, well, it's also small steps downstairs to hell. You know, it's those small steps that get you. I don't know, I guess you could go out and be a Charles Manson or something, do something really horrible, and take the express route. But, so, correlating along with this train of thought, Burl and I were sitting out here talking, and he's in the house napping, which I was also, because we were up very late until the morning hours, and then we went to bed and got up at 6 a.m. to go to this swap meet. So he said before his grandfather passed away, his grandfather had come down with some kind of an illness, which it's not unusual. They find all kinds of illnesses as we age that we've got, and reasons to give us medications. And the deal there was his grandfather was 80 some years old, 85 or 86 years old, and they checked his testosterone level because they were saying his test level was high, and that was contributing factor. And his test was in the 600 and some range total testosterone, 600 and something. And at the same time, because they had Burl, the direct descendant, they tested him, and his level was 3 something at the time. So here you have Burl, 30-year-old man, 32-year-old man at the time, whatever it was, with 300 some testosterone count total, and his grandfather, 85, with 600 and some. So that's because, like I have said, his grandfather was born at such an earlier time. His grandfather has since passed away. And of course, they gave him medications that pulled his test down even more and actually boosted his estrogen up and all this other horse shit. Once they start screwing around with you, Burl said that when they did that, his grandfather basically just gave up anyway, because he just very quickly, made a downward turn, and he didn't have any energy, and he really didn't have any drive. He didn't have any kind of anymore. No wonder, of course, they're going to do that to him. Carve his test level up and bring it down, beat it down, and push his estrogen, encourage estrogen. Of course, he's going to start to feel like, he's probably feeling pretty damn good at 600 something at 85 years old, other than, whatever the issues were that caused him to seek the medical attention in the first place. Which way would he have lived longer? Without medical intervention or with it? It's debatable. So now people are making videos and discussing it, because in this, along with this meta-study, this statistician or scientist or researcher concludes that they also did so much research where they were measuring penis size, and I know the busters are going to love this because they're immature children, but apparently now people that are born more recently, the generations born more recently, they're coming out of the womb with a decreased distance from their testicles to their taint, to their anus. From the testicles to their anus. So basically they're literally saying this, their taint, the distance is less. They're getting closer together, and their penises are getting smaller. And they say that the reason that, this is going to continue, this trend's going to continue. So now what will people do about it? Nothing. People will do nothing about it. So look at that, and what do you think it's going to be like? They said that in 25 years they expect that men's testosterone level will hit 0. Nobody's alarmed at this. They said something along that way. I didn't print this shit out and sit here so I can just read you and regurgitate something that's, So I may be off a little bit, but you get the general idea, and I'm not off by much at all, if I'm off. At all. So I don't know what to say in the face of that now. It's not me. I was born in barely made it into the 60s, right? I'm almost 60 years old, very close. So, I guess that means that older guys are going to be more popular eventually. Isn't that a bitch? So now, that's what you got to look forward to. Younger men or males born today, in general, you got outliers everywhere. There'll probably be a John Holmes born that's, that breaks those barriers, or breaks those, that flies in the face of these statistics. But other than that, other than outliers, people born today, a guy born today, a child, a boy born today, boys, they're going to have smaller penises, or they have been having smaller penises, and that'll continue. And whatever this indicates, the distance from their testicles to their anus is decreasing. So I don't even know what the hell that represents or what that's going to become. So it's a totally screwed up situation. And apparently I saw something where in the embryo, they say all this damage happens in vitro, by the way. We're still exposed, like I've said, to the environmental endocrine disruptors. Now they have a new phrase for it, a new term for it. And it's very similar. It's endocrine disruptive something. But basically it's the same shit, environmental endocrine disruptors. And they're talking about one of the chief problems being plastics. Plastics. And look at all the plastics in our world. Look at all the plastics in your day-to-day life and in my day-to-day life. Plastic. Everything's freaking plastic. So it's plastics. It's all kind of scented things like aftershave and cologne, deodorants, your toothpaste, hair products, beauty products, things in our food, in the pesticides that are getting into the food. I've actually seen people come on here and say, oh, there's nothing wrong with the ground. The land is the same as it ever was. Oh, that's not true. The minerals haven't been stripped from the earth. Bullshit. Bullshit. If you want to be freaked out, if you have excessive time on your hands and you're bored shitless and you want to be freaked out, do a little bit of research and look at what corn is supposed to look like. Look at what corn in North America actually looked like when Europeans first tripped and stumbled into North America. Corn looked nothing like it looks now. Nothing like it looks now. It's been hybridized and all this shit's been done to it. Unnatural interventions so that it produces, the yield is increased. You have more kernels on an ear of corn. There used to be very few kernels per ear. And it's more of a leafier thing than a huskier thing. So corn is unrecognizable. So we've done this bullshit to ourselves. I'm not saying that the corn's killing people, but yeah, it's certainly contributing now. But that's not because necessarily I think that they hybridized and went through all this bullshit process to create what we have today and what we've known all of our lives as corn. I think it's because of the shit that we're spraying on the foods and the vegetables and the fruits and all this other shit. Let me reiterate something that should be well known. If a bug won't eat it on the vine, you probably shouldn't eat it. Now they counter that by saying, well, it's such small amounts. To the bug, it's an enormous amount. But for us, it's so tiny. Yeah, but small steps to the moon, and that downward staircase to hell is equally small steps sometimes. Monsanto, God forbid I even mention the name of the devil himself. Monsanto, the people that brought us, or one of the people that brought us Agent Orange, and all those poor Vietnam vets that have to go through hell and high water to try to prove that they're all suffering in the same way with health issues due to this exposure to this exfoliant, this Agent Orange garbage, and how much it took and how long it took of them beating their heads against the wall before it was ever even acknowledged as anything, that it was real. Well, Monsanto, they're losing money. It's one of the companies losing money because Vietnam War is over. What are we going to do? What are we going to do with this exfoliant? And we made so much money off of it, selling it to the government. Well, all they did was shift gears, and they started the war. They worked for the Department of Defense, or they were a contractor for the Department of Defense. Well, all they did was shift gears. The same mentality they brought toward farming. We're at war with insects. And if you remember the old commercials of Roundup, where the guy's got the Roundup on his side and he's got the pistol in his hand, and they compared him to a modern day cowboy, that he was fast on the draw and killing weeds dead with the Roundup. We're killing ourselves too. So that's where we stand today. Everybody's worried about who's natty, who's not natty. If you're natty, like I've said all along, no man's natural today. No man's natural today. Your test level, even if you're healthy and you feel great, if you'd have been born 50 years ago, let alone dare say 75 or 100 years ago, if you'd have been born at that time, your test level would be a hell of a lot more than it is today. So even if you think, oh, my test level's pretty healthy, as they continue to lower the range at which is normal, Normal doesn't mean, like the ideal state of health. Normal means everybody pretty much, the median figure when they assess everybody in a population. We all suffer from this. We all have this. So that's what they call now normal. But they continue to lower the range. They lowered it in 2017. LabCorp came out with a bulletin. It's not secret shit. It's not conspiracy theory. Saying, hey, we just want to let everybody know we're taking the normal range for testosterone in men and we're putting it here. You remember that? Any of you down with that? So at that time, if you barely qualified for testosterone replacement therapy legitimately, then once they lowered it, maybe you didn't anymore. Because now you're normal. You're within the normal range. Because it's normal for everybody to be unhealthy. So it's just, excuse me, it's just a very slippery slope going down that rabbit hole. Well, what are we going to do about it? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to do shit about it. Now, I can pretty safely say that. We aren't going to do anything about it. We're going to keep using cell phones. We're going to keep being bombarded every day by these radio waves, these microwaves passing through our bodies. Right? Microwave cooks your food. How's it cook your food? It vibrates the molecules. They bump up against each other and spin around, and that generates friction, and it generates heat. Oh, but these small amounts of microwaves doses passing through your body, that's harmless to you. Well, what's the totality of that in a lifetime? It's not harmless. It's not harmless at all. But what are we going to do? We're going to turn back technology, make life less convenient. God knows we don't want to have less convenience. We'll do anything. We will kill ourselves. We will eradicate masculinity from the face of the planet in the name of convenience. Right? Toxic masculinity. Everybody wants to wear dresses. Men all in large numbers now think they're women. Any of this sounding familiar? Do you think there's any correlation here with the increase in estrogen levels in all of us and the drastic, radical decrease in test? I'll tell you what, they were saying that in today's world, a man, it was something like that the sperm count was like cut almost in half. It was like down 49%. That's not good. Not good. So, why are we talking about it? Well, it's good to be aware, but my main beef is these little busters that are so worried about who's natty and who's not natty. None of this is natural. And the damn thing about us is natural. As a human species, that's not our inclination to live naturally and in harmony with the ecosystem and our environment and our world. It's unnatural for us to do that, so fuck yourself if you're worried about who's natty and who's not natty. Simple as that. What does it amount to you in the end? Oh, well, they're a fool some kid. They claiming natty and, yeah, if you're a liar, that goes towards your character, right? Period. No matter what it is you're fucking lying about. But, let's not delude ourselves. That young guy is trying to build some muscle. He thinks that he's natty. He should be able to do it. Well, you can do it, but be aware that the environment is emasculating you just like it's trying to wants to emasculate me, but I have the advantage, although it seems a disadvantage now looking backward from almost 60 years of age, but it seems that overall it's an advantage that I was born almost 60 years ago. But one day we'll be gone. You, me, all of us older guys, any of you younger guys that somehow slipped through the cracks and came through with decent, healthy test levels. They're also talking about erectile dysfunction now. That is commonplace in men, and they're seeing it in men in their 30s. Men in their 30s. Can you remember when you were 30, if you're an older guy, did you have any erectile dysfunction at 30-something? Please. I could eat frozen pizzas all day and cheesesteaks from the local carry-out and grease and every other damn thing. Sop the grease up with another piece of bread and butter and eat that. And I'm not going to have any problems with erectile dysfunction in my 30s. That's ridiculous. And now, what's this going to do to men? Do you think this is going to also affect other things? You know what I mean? Mental health issues and shit. So this world that we're living in, it's not forever. It's the way that we live. It's all going to change. It's all going to change. And it is changing. Drastically, it's changing. And you know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But They're talking about 25 years, test levels could hit 0, rock bottom, so you're still going to have some outliers, still going to be some guys with some test in their body. But what's it going to look like in our society as far as the contribution of men? And whether you like it or not, and I know this grinds some people's balls to hear this, burns some people's asses to get their tits all in a ringer to hear this shit, but men built this world. Men built this world. You know, so you're going to get rid of all the men. I don't know what kind of world y'all are going to be living in, but all you kids out there, all you youngsters that think that toxic masculinity is a terrible thing and that men are dinosaurs and the world will be better off without them, look around you. The world that you're seeing, the infrastructure and every other damn thing, none of that would be around. None of that would exist. We'd have never crawled up out of a fucking cave and decided, hey, let's make some wheels and build a road and fucking ride, goddammit. We'd have never done any of that. None of that would be, you know, without men. Sorry, it just wouldn't happen. No. There's no Amazonia out there. Not saying women don't contribute. Not saying there are outliers everywhere. Women, they do their share. Women are absolute necessity. Are you joking me? I don't want to go the other route. I don't want to live on a planet that's all male either. Ain't no way. I'd probably take myself out if that situation arose. Or I'll be trying to build a rocket ship to get to frickin' another planet that maybe if I die, I die. But what the hell good is it to live in a world where there are no women? And I don't mean to offend any of you brothers out there, you know, that dig men. That's cool. That's you. But what do I do? You know what I mean? It's like saying if everybody's eating plants and they won't eat any meat and they eradicate meat from the face of the planet, what does a meat eater do? He don't eat no more meat. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's it. It's something to think about. Now all these people are making videos about it because it's new. It's like it's popular now to discuss it. Now it's in the news again, more than ever right this minute. In the past couple of weeks, like they just stumbled on something that, and there's a really an awesome video on this by a dude that happens to be gay, and it's in you know, and then you have gay dudes that they like men. You're gonna get rid of men. Men are gone, so hell, you guys ain't safe either. And then I do know some gay dudes that are very manly, that are masculine. You know. Anyway, that's where we're at, man. That's where we're at. But you know what? Like I said, I'm in the twilight almost. You know what I mean? I'm getting there. I'm fighting. I'm railing against the dying of the light. I'm not going gracefully. I'm fucking fighting. But when we're gone, we're going to be gone. That's all I'm saying. And what's going to be left? You know, some of us have children. What is the world going to be then? Right? What's it going to be? What's it going to look like? It's going to be unrecognizable to us. You guys take care. Hope you're having a good weekend. Not trying to doom and gloom you and bum you out. There's nothing you can do about it. But if you got low test, man, you feel like shit, take some testosterone for God's sake. You know, what the hell? You know, people can hate on you for it if they want it. It ain't none of their business, really. It's not like you're going to go out there and tell lies and every other thing. Just live your life a little more fully if that's what it takes. If that's what it takes. If you feel healthy and you feel good and you feel strong and vibrant and virile, then hopefully you don't feel viral. That's causing enough problems. And virile and shit like that, then you're good to go, man. You know, God bless. You know, get on with your bad stuff. But if you're feeling like shit, and don't let them hammer you down out of existence any sooner than they're going to. Okay? Anyway, I'm out of here. I got some other shit to do. I got to get to the grocery store tomorrow. It's back to work. I need a few things. I'm out of yogurt, for God's sake. All right, you guys take care. I'll talk to you again soon.